Well, good morning, folks. Welcome back to Me and My Shadow. As I'm filming this video, no, you're not watching an old video, and yes, this is my old seat. I had to put it back on. Let me explain. Well, I hope this video is finding everybody well. Welcome back to Me and My Shadow. So, got the seat used. As I mentioned, the Mustang seat, and no, there's nothing wrong with it. It just happens to be missing a part. And to me, that part's pretty important for riding two up with my wife. And I still like to ride until I get that part in. I decided, well, I'm going to go ahead and put the old seat back on because I really don't go too many days without being able to get on this motorcycle and ride. And riding without a seat, well, it's kind of a pain in the ass, if you know what I mean, right? How do we keep riding as we get older? And the reason I say that is because, as you know, none of us are getting any younger. And actually, as time goes by and we get older, we're going to retire, and that gives us more time for doing the things we love, such as riding. But what do we do when that bike starts getting a little bit too heavy? But what do we do when that motorcycle size and weight starts to become an issue? You know, as we get older, our joints are going to break down a little bit more, and we're going to end up having a little bit more issues with balance. But we still want to keep riding. Does that mean that we might be able to downsize into something that, you know, is a little bit more practical? And are we giving anything up if we do that? And the first thing I would consider is being honest with yourself. Being honest with yourself to the point of knowing when, you know what, I really need. I used to be able to ride this motorcycle and just basically sit on my tippy toes. However, I'm having more and more of a difficult time holding the bike up. Or when I go to parking lots, things are, you know, a little bit more difficult for me to maneuver this big heavy bike around. Then you can end up hurting yourself or hurting your passenger. And, you know, just like anything else, as we get older, we're slower to heal. And injuries can become a lot more, I don't want to say life-threatening, but just injuries can become just a lot more long-lasting. It takes us longer to heal up. So here's some things to consider. Number one, downsizing the bike does not mean giving up performance. If you're on a larger street glide or something like that, you can get yourself on a bike that's going to be just as performance driven, give you just as much of the power, maneuverability, and a lot of the functionality that you're used to on those bigger cruiser bikes and things like that. Manufacturers today are coming up with more and more creature comforts and things like that. You've got ABS, you've got traction control, you've got different riding modes, you've got so many different things, and they're not exclusive to the bigger bikes anymore. And Lord knows there are so many different styles to choose from and manufacturers to choose from. So my point is, do you have to give up motorcycling, riding your bike as you get older because you just can't seem to maneuver the motorcycle as well? You've been honest with yourself and say, you know what, I don't trust myself on this motorcycle anymore. It's harder for me to do U-turns. It's harder for me to, I don't know, even just push it around the garage. Or do you go to three wheels? Do you go to something like the Can-Am Spider Or do you look at maybe a Harley trike or a Goldwing trike for stability? That's another option available to you. Because with the Spider RTs and the Goldwing trikes, they are built for touring. So that does not mean that you have to give up any of your long distance ambitions, your adventures that you want to do on your motorcycle for seeing the country. Downsize into something like this. It's, in my opinion, very, very forgiving. It's low slung. You can, most people, unless you're really short stature, I'm 5'9.5", and I can flat foot this motorcycle all day long, even with the taller new seat that the Mustang seat. So you're not what are you giving up? Well, maybe you're giving up that bigger bike, maybe you're giving up a little bit more displacement, but you're not giving up the thrill of the ride. I would say, at least for me, as I get older now, everybody knows I'm planning on getting a bigger touring bike. I may be old, guys, but I'm not dead, and I'm also not ready. I'm not having any physical limitations that would lead me to, have to give up a heavier bike. But if I did, I wouldn't be concerned, because I would always have my Honda Shadow 750, which is reliable and great for cruising around, great for the highway, great for everything. So if you're out there and you are maybe getting older, or you're just deciding, you know what, it's time for me to downsize a little bit, I don't want this big cruiser anymore, this big touring bike any longer, it's not practical for me any longer, then you have options available to you. So again, it's not what we ride, or what brand it is, or anything like that. Just like anything else, it's always fun to get a new bike, and it's always a lot of fun to explore the possibilities on those new motorcycles as well. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for today. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I hope everybody is doing well. To me, it's like Christmas, because the kids are back in school. No, I don't hate my children, but it's nice to have them go away from the house for 8 hours a day, believe me. But anyway, that's all I got, guys. I'll quit rambling. You guys all have a wonderful weekend. Take care. And everybody remember, it is not what you ride, it's that you ride. Everybody have a good day.